Hello, today I am doing a random unboxing video. And for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a really big fan, well, I used to be a really big fan of torchlights. I don't know why, torchlights, flashlights, but I was always just obsessed with these as a kid, and I had lots of them. I think the first one was more of a toy when I was younger, but as I got older, sort of in my teens, I actually started playing around with all different kinds of torches. This is one that I have here. It's a Cree R2 torch. It's made of stainless steel and still actually works. I have some old battery in here. It's a 16340 battery and takes a special charger for it. So I sort of got out of torches. I stopped looking at them for some time, and for some reason I started, back on the looking at forums and torches and stuff like that lately, and I decided to see what kind of innovations have come about since the last time. I mean, this one and a few other ones that I've had around were bought, I don't know how long ago, I'd say 7 or 8 plus years ago. Definitely up to 10 years ago. So the tech's definitely changed. I don't see too many of these on the market anymore. I only see them in much smaller lights. I have a few others around. I've got this Cree XML light that I got. It's got a crenulated bezel, a bit of a glow ring on top as well. And I charged these up the other day, and to my surprise, they still work. And couple of others here. These have more of a throw beam, as you call it, so it kind of you can point at something really far away, and it gives a spotlight, illuminates something really far away. But probably the biggest torch I've got, and I've got a few, but I'm not going to bring them all out, is this one here. This is the X-Tar S1. I remember I bought this a long time ago off the manufacturer. I actually found a way back then to message and just transfer the money, and I was half expecting that it didn't arrive because I got it for a bit cheaper than what it was online and on their store, and to my surprise actually turned up this enormous light here. It takes three 18650 cells, and these are the cells that are used actually in a lot of laptop batteries, believe it or not. They use them also in some Tesla cars. I think they just stack them and connect them up with each other. You can see they sort of go in that way. This torch was the brightest thing that you could buy at the time, and off the top of my head, I think it's about 2,000 lumens. For this gigantic torch. You can see the head of it. It's got 3 XML, Cree XML LEDs with separate reflectors that join together. So it was a gigantic torch and quite impressive. Still is pretty impressive when you turn it on. Battery doesn't last very long. I'd say it only goes for about an hour or max. If I put it on high, probably less. And as soon as you turn it down, starts at 2,000 lumens, and then it slowly ramps down so that it preserves the LEDs so that they don't overheat. So considering that's 2,000 lumens, okay, this gigantic torch here, these two here that I bought, now I just went on to Amazon and had a look at what was available, had a look at some reviews for about a day just to see what was available out there. And these two here are pretty affordable lights. I paid about, I think, $30 for that one, the Wuben C3, and the Wuben C2 I paid about $40 Australian. So if you look at this one, it's pretty cool. It's got a 4,800 milliamp per hour battery, and it has a 21700 battery inside. It's one of those custom lithium ion batteries, 2,000 lumens. So if you can believe it, this thing produces as much light as this one here, and at a fraction of the size. So let's have a look at I was having a look at the LED. It's a luminous SST40 6500K LED, emits 2,000 lumens at max output. I mean, that's super impressive, considering that just 7 or so years ago, this would have been the brightest torch, almost the brightest torch you could buy. This one here is the C3. It's like a smaller version, and it's also got more of a tactical feel to it. It's got some impact resistance, 1.5 meter impact resistance. It's also waterproof, IP68 waterproof. However, this one's 1200 lumens, which is pretty close to that one anyway. But the interesting about this one is that it has a power bank, although it doesn't have any waterproofing or shock resistance. According to the package, it might do. Oh, actually, let's have a look. It does say that IP68. It is water resistant, so that's actually fantastic. Same as that. So really cool. Let's open these up, and I've got this one as well to save for the end. Now, this is the Imalent MS03, and this is something that I really wanted to buy to replace my EDC torch, the one that I carry around. It's this one here. This is the Xtar, what's it, WK21 at the time. So it was like a little version of this one here. I got these together actually, and this one, as you can see, it's worn quite a bit. I think it's got some special anodizing on it. I don't know if it's HA3 anodizing that they used to call it at the time, but you can see it's certainly had some good use out of it, and it still works perfectly fine. But this produces about 500 to 600 lumens, and so about a quarter of the output really of that one, and about half the output of that one there. And again, this was a little pocket torch, which at the time was one of the brightest torches for a little EDC, little carry, everyday carry torch. So I thought I'd like a little replacement, and this one is almost overkill. It's 13,000 lumens, believe it or not. So we'll save this one till last. Let's have a look at these ones. I'm so excited to open these up. You know, when you get that feeling, that package in the mail, and you know that it's arrived. I don't know what it is about torches. It was just, torches and lasers and stuff like that. I was always fascinated by them as a kid, and, going outdoors, out into the country as well. They're just really useful to have with you. Really cool little tool to have. And this one here, the C3, comes with a little baggie. Let's open that up. Fantastic. Let's take that off. Wow, look at that. It's got a special kind of lens on top. I think they call it like a TIR lens or something. If you look at it, it's hard to kind of see, but there's a frosted little bit. It almost focuses the beam. There's some type of lens inside there. It focuses the beam. Didn't realize that. The top of the torch as well has this kind of, how should I put it? This type of cut-in design, so that when you stand it like that, and you've got the torch on, and I don't think it's actually charged. I'm gonna need to charge this thing up. It's definitely not charged. But when you stand it up, you're gonna be able to see the light leaking out from underneath if you've got the torch on or not, which I thought was a really cool little, cool little feature. Great, look at that. The finish is actually really impressive. I mean, for $30, you really can't get any better than that. Let me just take this off. Please remove the please remove the battery insulation sheet before using it. So that's silly me. That's why it doesn't work. Also, during storage, they cover the battery terminals. So let me take that off. It looks a lot better without that sticker on. So we'll unscrew it. It's a tail switch as well, which is great. It has like a kind of tactical feel, hold the end of the torch like that. I do like that end switch a lot better than the ones right on the front. More of a preference kind of thing. So let's open the back of it up. Oh, there we go. There's the insulation, bits of insulation, bit of plastic there. Maybe there's one at the front. No, not really. So it's a 2600 milliamp hour battery, 18650 with circuit protection. How do you charge this thing? Okay, pop it in there. I think you charge it from there. Interesting. Okay, good. Some of them actually have batteries that you charge straight from on the battery itself. You plug the USB-C connector right to the battery. So let's chuck that in. I think it's on at the moment. Nope. Turn this thing on. And oh, fantastic. So you basically cycle through each of the modes. That's kind of low. That's medium. That must be high. It's pretty bright. Oh, geez. that one's almost blinding me. That's really amazing. 1,200, and you can sort of feel it starting to warm up. The battery's not fully charged yet. I still think that's really, really impressive. Let's have a look what it has, what else is included in the pack. A couple of O-rings. These are good to have, some spare O-rings. As you use the torch for a while, it does get worn out, and the water sealing starts to be compromised, so you can replace the little rings on the end there with these ones. It's good. Looks like there's a USB-C cable that joins up onto the head of the torch. There we go. Just unplug that, and you can see there's a little section in there to join up and connect to your computer. Here's a little manual. So let's put this one away, and I will maybe do some beam shots or something like that later. We'll see how we go, but even just turning that one on, it's really, really bright, a lot brighter, almost twice as bright really as this one here. I don't know if it's really a 1200 lumens. Maybe it hasn't been charged up completely as well, so I'll need to charge that thing up, charge this up a bit more. Let's have a look now at the C2, the Wuben C2. Simple packaging, especially on the C3 before. I don't like packaging that just has too much stuff going on. And especially when you get some of these lights from China as well, sometimes they got some grammatical errors and stuff like that, which I don't really like too. So everything in here looks quite legitimate and quite professional. So let's open this one up. Let's take the top off and have a look at what this has to offer. Okay, it took a little bit. Okay, professional flashlight. Okay, so some accessories in here. Let's take out the actual light, the box of the light. There are, again, here's just a little instruction booklet, which I'll have a look at later. I think this must be the charger. So let's crack this one open and have a quick look at that. Comes with a USB-C cord, again, another lanyard, and a couple of spare O-rings. Fantastic, everything you need really. And this is the torch, sort of comes in similar packaging as the other one. Okay, let's chuck that bit of packaging away. It's all cardboard packaging, and there's a little plastic sheath here. And there we go, that's the C2. Wow. And let's have a look at it compared to the C3. I just want to have to compare the size of both of them. So you can definitely see there that the C2 is significantly larger than the C3. And we'll get out the ruler just to give you an indication. So that's the C3 is about 12.5 centimeters, and this one is about 13, nearly 13 centimeters for the C2. And they take different batteries as well, so it definitely has a little bit more width on it. So let me just open this one up. I really like the finishing on these. I'm honestly quite impressed at the quality, the finishing of these torches. I mean, this really quite smooth and designed with fair bit of consideration in mind. So this one doesn't have a tail switch, just a switch on the head. So let's open it up and have a quick look. I think the battery also needs to be taken out. Okay, so that's a little insulator there. And here's the battery, and you can see it's the Wuben ABD 4800, and this is a 21700 cell. I think from what I read, some of these cells can be a bit longer for people who actually have the chargers for these things. The cells can actually be a lot larger than the actual charger can accommodate, so you need to be careful and measure them. I think this one is, let's have a look, it's 75 millimeters, in case you're wondering. Yeah, a little bit bigger than an 18650 cell. This is the largest cell that I've ever used, the 18650 here on the left, and that's the 21700. So stores more power, obviously, and also I think it has a higher discharge capability, so it can draw more power into the torch. So, wow. Like I said, I'm really impressed so far. One of them is oiled a little bit more. The tail cap, the screws, what do you call them? The threading is oiled a bit more on the C3. This one probably needs a little bit of lubricant in there. And this on the top, the C2, you can see has 2 ports. It's got the USB-C on top for charging, and it's just got a normal USB-A there for, yeah, just charging a phone or charging any of your mobile accessories or something like that, your phone, which I find that's really, really cool. Like, to have a torch that also functions as a power bank in times of emergency as well. You can't beat that, can you? Look at that. Amazing finish. I would even say the finish is better than that on this little, not little one, this larger X-Tar torch that I've had. But we'll see how it holds up over the years. It does turn on. So that's the low mode. Incredible. That's so bright. I can't even look at it on the table. It's hurting my eyes. So that was the highest mode, 2000 lumens. The beam profile is quite narrow as well, considering it's such a small torch. I'm really surprised at how much throw this torch has. So I'm going to charge these up fully. I don't know if the battery voltage may be influencing the brightness of these torches so far, but I'm actually really impressed as they are straight out of the box. But I just want to see, yeah, I just want to see what they look like fully charged. But look at that, both have little clips on them as well. You can clip them onto your belt, onto your shirt, or whatever. Really just depends on what type of look you're after, and the purpose of it as well, because this one's going to last a lot longer without a charge than that one, depending on the mode that you use as well. And is also a fair bit larger. So if you want something that you're just carrying around quickly in your bag, you can activate quickly with a little on button. Oh, and look at that! It holds. It actually has memory as well, so it looks like it holds the last. Yeah, the last. What do you call it? Mode that you were playing with. Okay, let me see if it does it for this one. Off, on. Yep, it holds the mode as well. So that's really cool. It's got a memory mode. Fantastic. What I wish it had, though, was some type of shortcut. If you press it twice, or oh, you know what? This one has it. If you just double press this button, it has this really disorientating strobe effect. I think it's like 2000 lumens. It looks like this one here. If I double press the tail, let's see if it does the same thing. No. Okay. So you kind of, wow, but that strobe is really quite disorienting. So I wonder if there's a way, because I activated the strobe for a second. I'll have to read the instructions. But that one, the modes seem a little bit easier to figure out intuitively. So let's pop these away, and I'm going to bring out the big guns now. So the Imalent MS03. This is one that I've really been looking forward to. Went onto the Imalent website, and you know, they have so many torches on there. I wanted to get them all, but I know if I if I go down that rabbit hole again, I'm going to end up with another 50 torches, and I don't want that. I thought I'll get this one to start off with. It's a EDC torch. It's something you can carry around with you, but it also takes one of those 21700 cells, which is quite amazing considering apparently it's almost the entire torch length. So they fit the torch and the LEDs around it. And let's open this up to have a look. Just drag this through. Excellent. Great packaging. And there we go, got another smaller one inside. Let's just open this one up. And here we have it. There's the box. So, and for people who might know a lot about torches, I'm very out of the loop with them, and so this is not a proper review or anything. It's mainly just a unboxing, really, and to show my excitement having bought some of these torches for a while. And this one, look at that, 13,000 lumens, 27 hours runtime. I think that's on the lowest mode. 24 meter beam length, 1.5 meter impact resistance, IPX8 waterproof. It's got 3 Cree XHP 70-second LEDs. So I don't know really what those LEDs are, but I see them all across the board with the high-end lights now. The XML, Cree XML was the highest, the high-end LED at the time that I was looking at torches many years ago. So obviously new LEDs have come out with more efficiency and high lumens per amps. So look at that. Cool little box. That's what the torch looks like. Let's open it up and take a look. It's kind of it's got one of these little magnetic openy boxes, openy kind of things. Okay, so nice little congratulations on your new Imalent MS03 sticker on there. There's a user manual. Wow, and 13,000 lumens. It goes 13,000 lumens on turbo, high, which is 8,000 lumens to 2,000 lumens, and then you've got middle 3,000 lumens, 1,300 lumens for middle 1. So I mean that's just the middle mode, and the middle low is 800 lumens and low is 150 lumens. So incredible, 324 meter beam distance. I mean, let's have a look at this. I really like the packaging. It feels like it's kind of the stuff that you get when you buy a new watch or something. They put it in these nice little whatchamacallit, containers. Okay, one thing I've noticed so far is that the button makes a funny kind of, it does wiggle around a bit on top. That's interesting. I don't really like that. I prefer buttons that just have more of a rubberized finish and sit kind of flush with the surface. So this feels more like I don't know what it reminds me of, like a button that you press on an elevator or something like that. And then you've got this other tail light button on the C3. So definitely something I noticed. Let's make a little rattle sound with it. So there is also a bit of film on the top of the light. Okay, you can see the LEDs in there. Incredible. There's so much dye surface on these LEDs, and that's basically, from what I remember, it's just the area of the LED that actually illuminates. It's gigantic compared to the XML LEDs here. No wonder it produces so much light. It's almost 3 times. It looks to be almost 3 times the size of 3 or 4 times the size of just one of those in there, just a single one. So I mean, if you can imagine, it's like having, it's almost like having like four of these together or more. Actually, more than that. So, wow, it's been a while since I've had a look at any of these new LEDs, so I'm pretty impressed so far. The finish is quite nice. I would say it's not really any better than these Wuben. The finish on the Wubens. Let's have a look. I mean, I'd say it's very similar. In fact, I think the finish even on the Wuben C2 actually looks a little bit better. It's just got a bit more of a matte smoother matte finish. Super impressed with the quality on these two. Let's have a look. Let's have a look inside. So we got the tail cap. I'll just unscrew that tail cap. And using the highest mode on these ones, on the strobe mode, it was actually nauseating looking at it on the wall flashing. So, you know, at 1,200, 2,000 lumens, it's extremely uncomfortable. And that's not even being pointed in my eyes or anything like that. So you really got to be careful at where you point this. Bit of insulation paper there. A spring in there, and this is what I'm talking about here. The battery on this cell, this is a, what is it? The 21700 cell, which I think is actually similar to this one. Let me just open that one up. On the C2, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so it's a similar cell, but it's just a, actually, it's almost the same. It's pretty much the same length. So that would be 7.5. 7.5 centimeters or 75 millimeters. Okay. Difference is that this battery needs to be charged outside. You can see the USB-C port here. See, there's a bit of a rattle from that button there. So look, if it's a cosmetic thing, that's fine. I just hope that it holds up and doesn't break. So pop that in there. Okay, this is the most expensive out of the torches. This one cost 170 Australian dollars. Okay, and you apparently press that button twice to activate the turbo mode. So this is what comes in the little accessory pack. There's a holster. Yeah, this would be maybe, I don't know, to clip onto a bag or something like that. And looks to be made of nylon. It has the charging cable in here as well. But I thought this was a nice little inclusion, as the others didn't include a holster. I mean, they were cheaper, but at the end of the day, you know, can't say no to a nice little holster like this. It does take a bit of wriggling to get in there, given the head is a bit larger, but it does fit in there. Certainly does fit in there. Maybe I give it a bit more of a wiggle. Great little holster, and you can have this attached through your belt. Just put your belt through the center like that, and have it on you. And it does come with a charging cable and also a lanyard. Nice little bonus that they put in there. So fantastic. Okay, so we're going to be going through some of the modes here for the Wuben C2, and the first thing I'll start off with is just the low mode. You can't see it. Very low into the distance, probably about 100 and something meters. Slowly ramp it up, hold down that button, and you can start seeing that boat be illuminated. Okay, it has a nice, it's got a wide sort of spot beam, and also a lot of spill around the center as well. So it's a lot of useful, basically a lot of useful flood around the side, but it does let you control where you want to look at, especially if you're looking at, you know, illuminating something to the distance. Turn that off. I'm going to put it into turbo now. Let's have a look. It's just a little bit brighter, considering that there's so much, so much light out here. It's really doing a great job illuminating what's out there. I mean, if there weren't any lights on in the apartments or any spill, you really get a lot more of an effect here. I've got the C2 here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the eco mode. Okay, so it's barely sort of visible up close. Okay, and turn that off. Now I'm going to just point it straight ahead, and we'll pick up and we'll do the turbo mode. And look at that, it just lights up this entire area. And I'm just going to go do a quick ramping. So we'll start off with eco, and all you do is just hold the button and it will ramp up. Okay. So that's the high mode, and that's the turbo mode. there's a bunch of apartment blocks close by, and I'm going to turn on the turbo mode and just see if they can actually reach that far or not. So let's give this a go. And that's pretty amazing. That one's a bit closer as well. You can see it just lights up the entire apartment block. Okay, so I've got the MS-03 here, and we're going to test it out in front of us, and we're going to go through the different modes. So this is on low mode, okay, and it's just going to keep ramping up in brightness to high, and let's go ahead and ramp that up. And you can see everything start to increase in brightness, okay, and the top mode, that high mode, is really super bright. There's a large amount of flood here, that's for sure. It's mostly just flood. The center of the beam is a lot brighter. Okay, now we just pop it onto turbo. Let's have a look. Wow, 13,000 lumens. Quick test now of the MS-03, and we'll start it off just on the eco mode. Oops. Got to disable the safety first. Okay, so it's a very pretty wide beam, like a pretty nice sort of flood beam that's useful. Okay, now let's turn that off and we'll go on the turbo mode. Let's see how that looks. Wow, lights up the entire park.